Good morning, world history class. Hope you guys had a great 3-day weekend. Many of you did take the Unit 1 exam for the Neolithic period. I'm going to have to schedule some kind of makeup time for those of you that didn't get around to that. Would have been a great way to end the first 3 weeks, but we are where we are, and we will keep working in a positive direction. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I've already posted an assignment for you. It has to do with the two readings. Those early river valley civilizations that we studied in India and China continued to grow and would continue under different leadership to become different empires. The Indian empires, the Mauryan and the Gupta, are two major examples of ancient Indian empires. Also, the Han, Qin, and Zhou dynasties in China are dynasties that we'll be studying. I want to go back to the paradigm we shared earlier about political, economic, and social, and have you in your discussion post write about two things that are political about India, two things that are political about China, two things that are economic about India, two things economic about China, two things social about India, two things social about China. So we're using this paradigm to evaluate and write about, understand, learn about these early civilizations. I just want to take one more minute and talk about the mandate of heaven. I think it's so interesting and funny how politicians, even up until the year 2020, and really their supporters, want to discuss the issue of how God feels about their candidate. I think it's very, very interesting. God is in favor of this candidate because this candidate thinks this, and God favors this candidate because the other. You can fill in the blanks. I mean, maybe God likes one candidate better than the other because he's more peaceful, or maybe God likes one candidate more than the other because he's a better person morally, or maybe because one candidate is pro-life and the other candidate is pro-choice, meaning God likes one candidate more than the other. So so deciding who to vote for president or for some office becomes this really funny question of, for a lot of people, of who does God prefer, as if we know, right? As if we're learning this directly from someone, or isn't it just a bunch of people's opinions about what such a being would prefer? But the situation goes way, way, way back here in our history class, thousands of years, to the earliest Chinese dynasties, who openly, and I think the Han dynasty is the great example of this, who openly said this: look, obviously the gods are happy with the Chinese emperor. Look how good things have been. We've been growing food like crazy. Nobody's hungry. There have not been any really bad storms. Um, all of our adversaries, all of our borders, nobody's attacking us. We haven't been at war. We've been able to defend ourselves. Obviously, God looks down on the Han dynasty. He thinks we're doing a great job. This gives us a mandate, see, because if God approves of the job we're doing, well, of course, you people are going to approve of God. You don't want to get on God's bad side by replacing the dynasty that we've built. And so the mandate of heaven becomes this way of interpreting how God feels about the emperor, whether the dynasty should stay in power or not. Now, obviously, if things start falling apart and there's a famine, can't grow enough food, the corruption is bad, the nothing works in the city, or even the weather, maybe there are a series of earthquakes or whatever it is. Maybe our adversaries at some point, the northern border, they start coming down and attacking us, and we're not safe anymore. A lot of people are getting killed in battle. These kinds of things can turn the tide for a dynasty. People think, well, God's not happy with this emperor anymore. Things are things are really getting out of hand here. And so we better replace this dynasty. This idea, the mandate of heaven, how God felt about the government, has been with us for a long, long time. And I'm afraid it's not going anywhere real soon. I'll talk to you later.